cheated first, so she cheated. Oh my God! Derek, stop doing. Get up. Get up. So ass is backing off. Silly. You cheated first, so she cheated. Oh my God! Derek, stop doing. Get up. Get up. So ass is backing off. Silly.
That was a good one, wasn't it, Terri? Oh my God! I like it. I couldn't get over his legs. I should have left it on the screen because his legs are hilarious.
I know.
His legs were so skinny.
I know.
How are you today, Terri?
I am amazing. I'm so glad that my date tonight is you.
Girl, I hope if you get another date, you leave me and then be like, girl, I'm busy.
I was leaving you behind in the dust. Sorry.
that is code. Girl code and guy code is look. I got something else to do, y'all. We busy tonight. Don't you ever miss a date for me, woman. Please.
No. Oh, I won't.
Okay, you guys, if you're watching, let us know. Put some likes, share, get some people in the audience. We're gonna just hang out and have some fun, and we're gonna watch some videos and get some reactions. And gosh, Susan should be here, and what Dab should be here at some time, and then let's see, Susan, Dab. Who else was it? Anyway, I can't remember. But anyway, so the room is kind of slim, but we're gonna have fun just the same. But yeah. Let me know in the comments, especially if you're here. Let me see my friend. He might pop on. Let's see. We'll check it out. So I just got through watching a thing about deal breakers. Let's see the things that I had on here. And I like doing these things when there's more people, but I'm kind of noticing that people wait too long to talk about their deal breakers. Like it seems like when people start out with dates, they start off being perfect little angels and they want to be good and they want to be likable. And then, but they don't want to tell you like what I don't like, what I don't tolerate. And sometimes too withholding facts that are they can be personal and it can be seen as personal, but honestly it's like you kind of got to get the dirty details out front. Like if you're into S&M, I think you would want to tell somebody like really early, like let me just put this on the table, like put the dirt parts up front, put even the sex parts too, put those things up front, because what happens, a lot of people spend a lot of time performing and acting and waiting for things to get solid. And then they want to unleash the bag of, these are the exciting things that I like to do. My spare time and in bed. And it's funny because I feel like you can tell me what you think. I think at first for women, like when a man tells them like, I like to do this, 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 and this, they just see it as, oh, that's gross or disgusting, or all he wants is sex. But on the other end, why are you wasting time not discussing it? And then you get to the point where you really like a person, and then there's like, oh, I don't want to do that, or I don't really like that.
Yeah. And
no.
Yeah, and it's not going to go away. Right? Hey,
Happy
Colleen.
Friday night, y'all.
Hey, Susie, Sandy.
I know all the married people. Except Colleen. I don't think you married. I think you single and you spicy. So we see you, Colleen. But yeah. So, but there's some deal breakers too. Like maybe some people, they will say having kids is a deal breaker. I don't know. Do you have some deal breakers on the table?
Do I have any deal breakers on the table?
Yeah, where you're like, nah.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think here, but like one of the things is as a person's health. I mean, as you're getting older, you want to know if there's health issues, right? And like that doesn't necessarily have to be a deal breaker, but don't don't end up going into some kind of a seizure and I didn't know that you had had an issue, right? Like those are things that personally I would like to know about. And like not hiding things from people. Be upfront for me. Like I want the honesty. I want the authenticity. So
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of yeah. For me, I was married for a long time, and so for me to come back into this stage is a little bit different because when I was in my 20s and dating is a lot different than when you're in your 60s and dating, right? It makes a difference. So yeah, and now I've got to learn how to navigate in these with people, with different people now too, as they've aged. Yeah, Sandy. Yeah, you're happy to be married. You don't have to
I'm stuck. What could be the deal breaker? I'll
be honest. I was happy to be married too, but life happens and those things change, and so depending on what a person's gone through. I mean, I've gone through somebody's sickness, so if I'm interested in someone and they may have a health challenge, that doesn't necessarily turn me away, but it might turn somebody else away. On the other hand, I don't want to be somebody's caretaker either. So
I think if someone's going to be sick or in a certain state, it's only fair that you get some of the good part out of life first, and then move into that, this is just like I was saying, that old man that was at the club, he was like 53 and we were like in our 20s and he was hanging out and he probably got used up a bit by using other people up, and he never been married. He had those really pretty eyes and he was in the club looking for young women. And it's like, yeah, for that guy, you're going to be dealing with enlarged prostate. You're going to be dealing with high blood pressure and all kinds of stuff. And it's like, wait a minute, I didn't get to have fun with you yet. So she said married but separated for 26 years. I've been alone for a long time. He literally made me so sick. I was disabled. So I have no money to get away. You know what? Gosh, that reminds me. I've been watching The Sopranos lately. And Carmela, she's like, don't say Kamala, right? She's like, where's the
Don't get into that.
This has nothing to do with you. It just reminded me of this Carmela thing because I see her. She's with this man all this time and he spends all this money. She doesn't know where the money comes from. But I was thinking every time he bought me one of those big pieces of jewelry, I'd probably sell it and get a fake one and keep my money. Because her whole thing is she couldn't leave because she couldn't come up, like money wise. But then, I don't know. I'm really sick with that soprano lady because you know what your husband does for money. And now you want more money, but you want money out of this. He has to do things to people to get this money, but you're not really concerned with that. You just really want the money. But anyway, this is just me watching Sopranos like literally the last week. And I'm looking at the mafia wives and how they like, oh, we got to have the money. But I don't know. Colleen, I understand what you mean about having yourself sunk and having yourself in a place of dependency. Like I've always worked and I'm good at sharing. And everything that I had during the time of my marriage was like in there to cultivate what we had. And then it's a huge risk to try to go and be on your own. But I remember saying before I got divorced, I felt like I was drowning and I felt like the family was drowning me, and so rather than have that feeling of being suffocated by people and by this person, I took the chance to leave. And I did that again with my job too, because I felt like my job was killing me and suffocating me, and I was getting more and more sick. And if anything, you got to kind of go before it snuffs you out in some way, either the light that's inside you or physically, like that it will physically damage you. So I totally can relate to what you said. We were gonna, she said, oh crap, I'm an hour behind, my bad. So Susan, she's telling me that. So on my list, let me see. I had it was deal breakers. So Susan, I forgot to ring the doorbell for you. I forgot. Let me go get the doorbell. Susan's late. Let me ring the doorbell, y'all. I like ringing the doorbell. Okay, there you go. Susan's here. It almost looked like you froze. How are you, Susan? Are you muted? Something's going on with your sound. I heard a button click. Uh-oh. I think at least 10% of this show is technical difficulties and malfunction. That's how it is, like every time.
Yeah. People are freezing and oh well.
Yeah.
That's what makes things exciting. It's a live show.
Does it seem exciting, Terri? No, I'm just kidding. But
no, I'm not telling you the truth when I say it's exciting. It's frustrating.
No. What frustrating experiences? How do you define successful? Okay. I did think about this though. The idea of going on a date. Like, when did that start?
I don't know.
Think about it, because before, I don't know. What would people used to do? You used to go to the person's house and sit on their couch and under supervision of parents and things like that.
And they were chaperoned, right?
Yeah. Now it's developing.
I knew years ago. This was a long time ago, 30 years ago. I knew a young man, and he was wanting to find a wife. And he was living in Asia, and he liked a particular woman from he was American, but he liked the Filipino ladies because he said they always have a chaperone, and he said, I think that's so nice. And I was like, oh, okay, that was just kind of interesting, but yeah, I know still in a lot of cultures there's still people who are chaperoned, and they don't allow a couple together alone.
Oh, right. I'm so glad you said that. You know what that reminded me of? I'm sure you saw this. Oh, Susan, how are you?
I had like 10 tabs open. That's why there was no sound, I think.
Oh, okay. Who's that? It started with animal mating rituals. Get the heck out. I don't know. No. Okay. So no, it seems like it always had to be dating was like chaperoned and things like that. Then all of a sudden now it's turned into this really expensive $150, $200 deal. Then like women have to go get your hair done, go get your nails done, go get waxed, just in case somebody might want to see see the goodies that day. I'm just saying. And some people, my sister was telling me about this couple that went on a date, and the guy went to the bathroom, and then when he came back, then he got the bill, and he was wondering why it was so expensive, but the girl ordered an extra meal while he was in the bathroom so she could take home. You might as well just steal somebody's card.
Yeah.
That I don't know. It's become this thing. I guess it's like a joke for some folks where they think, oh, because food is so expensive, this is a way to get a free meal. And then they want to take home a doggy bag, knowing damn well that they don't, I don't really have anything behind this. It's just like a thought that I had about how did it turn into something so monetary and so expensive, you know. But any thoughts on that? Like, do you think dating is arbitrary? Like actually going out and having fancy dinners and going to movies and these activities? Like, what do you think is the most important part of dating if you actually participate in the game?
Finding somebody with your same social background you can get along with. And it doesn't matter what race they are per se, but that can bring in cultural stuff that's different. But also, I think there's a lot of social media where they're pushing, you got to have the bag, you got to have this, you got to have that, or he ain't shit, you know. And yeah, I don't care about the material things, and I'm a foodie, so I would prefer if you bought my meal because I'm going to be cooking a lot for you. And if you make me pay for half of mine, I could have gone out with my girlfriends, you know.
Wait a minute. You said you cook a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody made you pay for half,
if I gotta pay, well, I'm from a different generation too. But if I have to pay for half, you're my friend. You're not taking care of me because I'm not gonna invite you to dinner at my house and say you got to pay half for the meal.
Ooh.
And you're gonna get a $200 meal at my house, you know. But it didn't cost that much because we didn't have chefs preparing it. It was me. Like I made this burra pot roast. Oh my god, so good! My whole house smells so good. So I had burra tacos, and that was the first time I made them. Oh my god, it was delicious. And then if you're my boyfriend, I'm gonna pack little leftovers for our lunches, you know.
Yeah, it's gonna be some real benefits.
I don't want to any money because it's expensive to live nowadays, and I work a little less than part-time, so I'm just pinching every penny, you know.
For sure, I can totally respect that. That is weird to ask someone to pay for half, but you know who started that? Who are the, what do you call those feminists?
Feminazis.
Feminazis.
Yeah.
The matriarchy, the matriarchal political group that's pushing this agenda to pay for half. I know we're gonna all have like different social, economical issues, but I don't know honestly, I really don't even know where that came from. It's kind of like some of this stuff just comes out of a foxhole or something that pops up. This is the new issue. This is the new trend. But then again, it's all this justification based on, like you say, pushing it with the media, like True, It's New says it's really the media, and it has nothing to do with your values. But I think because so many people are listening to social media or the media on these trendy bullshit ideas, this is how people are ending up married for 10 years and being like, I need to find myself, because they don't know who the fuck they are. Because they've been so busy listening to external voices so long, they don't know, like, oh, nobody wrote a book about this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's no YouTube video to watch.
There wasn't a YouTube video
about TikTok. No TikTok or Instagram.
But there is a show called Desperate Housewives that will tell you, hey, let's swing after that. Hey, Andy. Because I'm just not satisfied in this marriage and I don't know what to do. But I mean, hey, people are experimenting. Their whole life is an experiment. So, and I'm not even trying to bash. I swear, I just really just happened upon that subject. So anyway, I'm going to watch a funny movie or a funny video, or maybe not so funny. Let's not do a funny one. Let's do another one, because I would like to see. A lot of people don't like Kevin Samuels. Ooh, darn it. A lot of people don't like Kevin Samuels, but he has a lot to say about a lot of stuff. And some of that stuff is true. Oh, it's not showing me all of mine.
But you know what I always thought was with the feminazis is I was a police officer and detective, so I was doing what they call job, come home, cook and can and make apple butter and all kinds of stuff like that. So I remember some of the male cops when they saw my late husband at work, and yeah, some of the older Italian ladies were like, Susan made that? What's that? And they're like, it's lunch, you know, because they figured since I could do one thing, I couldn't do the other. You know? And I didn't understand why they hated men, but they complain about it, but they're not even doing male jobs. I don't know. It's just
that came up lately, especially because of the hurricane. When we were watching the hurricane videos, and I'm looking at all the men that are lined up on side of the road. These aren't women. These are men. Men in forestry, men in construction, men who pave the roads, who tar the roof, who work on the electrical line. Even I saw this one show where it was a cartoon, and they were showing how this one woman fought to be a firefighter, but they had said something about her lung capacity, that women don't really have the lung capacity to be firefighters.
That's crazy. Well, I can tell you that my female cousins was the first one with Ma Bell, first female to have her own bucket truck. And that was in the 90s. And I was like, yay. Because I remember pulling up at an intersection one time, and I'm the cop. Then there's, you know, the lineman, which was a girl sitting at the other. And then there was another lady that was in a semi that was driving. And we kind of like nodded.
Yeah.
Because it's like, we don't call ourselves feminists. We just go and do the things that we need to do because they need to get done. And we're not sitting there crying that, you know, oh. But I noticed when I worked in government, though, I was getting paid the same as guys. But when I worked private sector before I was a cop, you know, because in policing, all the salaries are published. But when you're working for a private, like a I don't know, corporation, I was paid $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 less than the guy that didn't have any college, you know, and that pissed me off.
That's one thing about when you work a government regulated or a corporate, usually a corporate job, it has a standard, a particular standard. But I like what you just said. It wasn't that you were all rah about being a feminist or being a woman. The fact is you were doing what you loved, and it didn't have to make an announcement, because I do believe that a lot of times it has to be turned into some type of politics. Or another friend of mine, she was really vocal about, we need to teach these men and show men that, and I was like, no, we actually, by just being women and being, and you know, okay with being a woman, being happy with your place as a woman, even if you're a woman who's more masculine, if you're a woman who's more feminine, your simple existence is enough. Like, I don't have to shout at anybody that I'm a woman and yell about it for me to embody what a woman is and be appreciated for it. Like, I don't feel like you being a man, like shouting about your penis doesn't make it exist. You know what I mean? Like, you have a penis, be secure in your penis, be secure that it exists. And how you perform as a man, that is up to you, your level of comfort, you know, instead of taking these outside, all of that stuff, it just requires you externalizing your existence and basing your existence on what is around you instead of you just being comfortable with yourself. So I don't really feel the need, you know, and this is what will go into like gay, transgender stuff like that. Like, be you, be what you are. And guess what? You don't need an actual protest about it. Exist and be confident in your existence. So, Terri, you said that about the man being 19 years old or something like that. There's a newspaper article. I don't know if people saw this, like a really old one circulating. And it's 1965, about an 18-year-old man looking for a wife. He says, chance for a spinster. A young man in Aroostook County, Maine, advertising for a wife, speaks of himself as follows. I am 18 years old, have a good set of teeth, have a good set of teeth, and believe in Andrew Johnson, the Star Spangled Banner, and the 4th of July. I have taken up a state lot. I cleared up 18 acres last year and seeded 10 of it to grow. My buckwheat looks first rate, and the oats and potatoes are bully. I have got 9 sheep, 2-year-old bull, and 2 heifers, besides a house and a barn. I want to get married. I want to buy bread and butter, hoop skirts, and waterfalls for someone of the female persuasion during life. That's what matters to me, but I don't know how to do it. Had you all seen that one before?
No. No.
He put no age limits on it either. He was what is a spinster in 1965? I wonder. That's a good one.
Probably
You mean
20-year-old.
1865.
A 30-year-old, right? Like, girl,
Oh, no.
you're
No. A spinster would have been 23, 24.
what?
Mm-hmm.
Well, people died younger then too.
A lot of people don't believe it, but back then too, if you now, if you try to wait until you're 25, they're like, your chances of having a baby are like 50%. If you're 30, it's like 20%. If you're 40, it's 10%, like 2% or something like that. So people, like, they'll really get really angry about women being married too early. Now we have, before we didn't have 4 years of college. We didn't have 12 years of school. We had 8 years of school? 6, 8?
Yeah, 8. Well, high school.
I was just going to say, my parents got married. My mother was 25 and my father was 29, and they were considered older when they got married. And they got married in 1945, but they were considered older already.
What was your mama so busy doing?
Well, you know what? It was during the war. It was during the war.
Oh, see, they didn't have time to get married.
My dad wasn't he had some physical issues, so he didn't get drafted into the war. So, but yeah, though that was considered old.
Yeah, 14.
I'm thinking my mom was 22 and my dad was 25 when they got married in 1962.
Interesting. Well, I'm going to go over to this one. Let's see. Oh my gosh. I love that guy with the glasses. It must be this. Oh, it's this. It's Kevin Samuels, y'all. People love to hate him and they talk crap about him when he died. Oh, that men are stupid. Okay.
Feel this energy.
Guys like my energy. From what I'm being told.
Okay. Liking your energy for what though? What makes them shitty? Because they want to just hook up, hang out, or they trying to marry you?
They gotta like it just, because it ain't no.
You go into a club or to a bar, guys aren't going there to find wives. They're going there to have sex. So they'll like what you got because all they have to do is be just for one night. So you're not going to places where husbands go looking for wives because you're not a wife yet. That's the reality. You're not a wife. You're a girlfriend, a situationship for some time. And in order to become a wife, it takes work. Shout out to the Bonnet crew. How old are you?
I'll be 21 in 7 days. I want a high value.
I'm going to pause that because he said, highlight to the Bonnet crew. Because she came on camera with a bonnet. But I guess the other lady was just saying how shitty guys are or whatever, but because I don't know. I have to miss that one, but I just thought this one was funny because she's coming on camera with a bonnet and he's going to rip her apart for it. So,
Value man.
Why do you want a high value man?
I deserve that.
You don't deserve anything.
Oh, okay.
Who are you?
Simone.
Simone deserves nothing. What makes you so special? Do you deserve access to somebody else's stuff?
Nothing really makes me special to deserve access to anybody.
Thank you. So you don't deserve a high value man. Nobody deserves anything. We earn. And there's something called only child syndrome. What was that?
What is what?
Was there somebody screaming in the background?
No.
Yeah, I do have a question for you. Why come on to the program with a bonnet?
I'm comfortable. This is me.
Okay. Right, but you want a high value man. I probably should have excused myself, taken it out, represented myself in a better light because hundreds of thousands of people, 20,000 folks, let's have a conversation. But I'm comfortable. It's all about me. What value is a selfish person in a relationship to anybody?
Thank you.
That's a question.
Ask it again, please.
Kick rocks.
So he went ahead and kicked her off, but I don't know if you get involved in those type of conversations about what it means to have like a high value person, but I guess what a lot of people are saying about high value is the amount of money that the person has, but I don't know. Did anybody want to chime in on that? What do you consider a high value? Because I believe that the status is they want people who make six figures or more.
Well, nowadays you kind of have to make six figures, but I'm out in the East Coast, you do just to survive. But I would think the median income in Iowa is probably 58,000. You know, because they're working at factories. How much money are they going to get? You're either a farmer or making some money. You're a doctor or a nurse, and what are you going to make? Even as a nurse out here, you're only going to make 65,000 a year. You know, and the nurses out east make a lot more, make like $30,000 more. Food and everything costs the same. Because I'm in a red state, they tax the crap out of you. Shoot, high value means something different to me. High value is someone that has integrity, honesty, loyalty. They can communicate. They're not deceitful. They didn't lie, you know. Because you can be my friend if you're honest about things, because maybe your sexuality, your lifestyle doesn't mesh with mine. Well, fine. But if you go and trick me and then I find out that you were trying to trauma bond me and groom me to your lifestyle, and I'm old enough to know what I like, and I like what I like, and it, you know, you have to be straight. That's the part I have a problem with. It's like, can't people just be honest? You know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think people get rewarded for honesty. Like this is what we started with was if you talk about what you really would like sexually, people don't want to do that up front. If they don't want to present deal breakers up front, what they want to do is act like an angel up front, get you to like them, get you to, like you say, bond with them, whether it be trauma bond or not. They want you to bond with them first and then spring things out of the box. And I think people have it backwards. What you want to do is tell people the worst shit about you way up front. And if they can handle that roller coaster, now we can be nice. If you tell me, hey, I'm into pegging, you know what I mean? Tell me up front and give me the choice up front. And I think that's why I don't know, it's really difficult because women will see this as offensive up front if men are telling you what they want up front. But it's far better for someone to tell you that up front than to wait after 6 months of being Mr. Nice Guy and then being like, hey, I got this closet full of shit and I want to stick it in your butt. Or I want you to stick it in my butt. Or, you know, I want you to, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just being very plain, but people, like, for you to have this closet full of stuff, because I really feel like a lot of the traumatized women that have been traumatized sexually have entered into relationships not knowing what they were getting into. And then by the time they're done with this person, they're like, I got to get the hell out of here. And now it's perceived as men are disgusting. But what has happened, what I see is that because of religious, you know, how religious our country is, that people have been told everything you do, even basic sex, is bad. A lot of people right now can't, you know, it's changed, but people have been to the point where being Christian and having sex has been difficult even for their own marriage, because they've not been able to let go of God is watching me, my mom is watching me, my grandma is watching me. So for them, like, sex is something so dirty. I have a family member that, I mean, they can just point out the most negative things about sex. Even if they were watching a married couple have sex on TV, if they were watching the getting romantic, they would still say, oh, that's disgusting. And I'm like, they're fucking married. Why is that disgusting to you? And she always has something to say about everybody else's sex life. And I said, I think she has a sex demon. Like,
Mm.
You're struggling with your sexual thoughts and you're like taking it out on others. Yeah.
Shoot, for like 10 years, I just wanted a guy to dress up in a damn kilt for me, and I couldn't get that.
Well, we need to take you on a flight. We
You
need to
gotta
get you to Scotland and back. Yeah.
you know, because I have simple fantasies like that, you know, but
Mine involved just jumping up and down on the bed and dancing for me. I want to see it dance, and I want you to dance like a stripper for me. And yeah.
Did you ever see the video of the guy? He bought his dad a pole, and so the dad became a pole dancer.
Oh my God. I loved it when his dad came in the house and he was like, "Oh, she's back." Oh my God. I don't know if I want him to get on a stripper pole or nothing, but you know, the more free and exciting a person can be and expressive, the better. Not just always looking like sex should be once a month or that sex is, you know, hidden or dirty. Or I don't mind getting smacked on the butt in the grocery store. That is fine. I like it. I like this idea. I'm okay with PDA. You know, a lot of people struggle with PDA. Have you seen that? Or oh my God, please don't start, because Meadow had, we were watching Sopranos and Meadow has the least sexy. How does your dad own a strip club and you don't know how to strip? So anyway, that was like the most awful thing ever. So anyway, she did an awful one. I always wanted to do a sex painting. What do you mean? Because I know people body paint and that's a part of their foreplay. That could be like some things where you put it on the canvas or whatnot. But I don't know. I feel like if you can upfront name some of your fantasies with a person, I know what it is. I guess for us as women, we feel vulnerable and we don't want to rush, like speed forward under the sexual pretense. So we're trying to push that back as far as possible. But then on the male aspect, it's like, oh, if this girl's going to be boring in bed, or even for females, if you feel like the person's going to be boring in bed, it just really depends on how much of a sexual person you are versus how much of a sexual person that other person is. But I really do believe like some people are using sex as the bargaining chip to get what they really want. And some people just want to be married. Some people really like just want a roommate so they can split some bills with because they're trying to make life cheaper. Or they really just want to get married because they see other people getting married, or they really just want kids. And so that's kind of like this reptile brain type reaction to life. Do this to get that, but not really understanding that this is a part of that. And now when you get the thing that you want, I got the house, I got the kid. Now you pull back on the sex life and the other person's like, wait, we were having sex 3 times a day. And they were like, yeah, but I got my house now. I'm good. Now get out of my face. You know, like this is really happening a lot, you know, especially when people are allowing outside influences to encourage them to get married in the first place, right? Because I think there's a lot of asexual people getting married.
Well, and the thing is, going back to that, so if they get everything that they want and then they pull back on the sex, and then the other partner is like, well, I'm going to find it somewhere else, then they get mad because they feel betrayed, right? And it's like, well, it doesn't happen overnight.
I'm going to say to Vincent, I'm going to need you to tell me more details about this sex painting.
That's what I was just going to ask.
Inquiring minds need to know, Vincent. We want more details. So don't switch over. And Vincent, you need to come on here because you have an amazing story. And he's been like off the market for 11 years, I believe. Wasn't it a long time? Because we did an interview and I know he was. Yeah. I've noticed there's been a lot of guys that I've met that have been celibate for 10 and 12, somewhere between 10 and 12 years. I've met at least 3 men that have been like that. And so where people are thinking, oh, men are having so much sex, the studies are saying now that men by age 30, there's 30% of men are actually still virgins. And you can try to blame video games, but it's not going to be, I think it's not video games, it's neurodivergence. Like people just kind of want to say, oh, young people are lazy and young people play too many video games. And it's like, okay, why are they playing video games though? A lot of them are neurodivergent. And I think, I don't know, Terri, I think, did we talk about this? Because I feel like a lot of what's going on with men, like women now will say, oh, I don't want a man who was like my father or like my grandfather, but not really understanding at a time where now we have all these labels of the neurodivergent, of the autism, of post-traumatic stress disorder or trauma, right? That we don't actually give our fathers and grandfathers and great-grandfathers credit for actually living through pestilence, parts of history where people were dying in front of them, where they've had to bury people. Like we're very detached from death at this point, but death was like a daily part of life for them. And then there's war, and then there's still the mental illnesses and autism and these little things that maybe are undiagnosed, that this is how men were. And so there's something that created this stoicism that we don't like and won't tolerate and don't want a part of. But now when we look at men, we don't really give them. It's funny, we can give them as students and children, we can give them credit for these neurodivergence. But men grow up to be, or boys grow up to be men that eventually will mate, or I guess nowadays not at all mate, that there's still neurodivergence that you're accounting for. So that guy who you want to be the 200K earner might not be. But it doesn't necessarily mean they're not good at loving you, like giving you your emotional needs, right? They just might not be able to have the kind of jobs that you think they should have. They don't necessarily have the organization skills when it comes to bills or something like they don't, like we're not making room for that. We want magic wand, perfect person, not really taking into account the neurodivergence levels that we have right now.
And there's a lot of women who are like that when they're 30 years old as well.
Ooh-wee.
I can look at my daughter, not my daughter per se, but some of her friends and stuff. And it's like, wow, I can remember when I was 30, I had a way different lifestyle than that. You know?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I knew it.
Yeah. So you know what, I think just society has changed in a lot of ways. And so people don't have the, I see in a lot of young women is like, they just don't have the skills in being, what's the what I'm looking for is like
homemakers,
like just of owning their space, right? They are brought up on media and saying they want this, this, and this, but on the other hand, what do they give in exchange, right? And
right.
Yeah.
And this is what they talked about in home math is I want this. I want this, but they're not talking about what they're willing to give to get what they want. So I want somebody with money, and I want someone to pay my bills, and I want someone who can listen to me talk. God knows a lot of people really don't have shit worth listening to, you know it, we know it. There's a lot of people that really don't have anything worth listening to when it comes to what they're talking about, because they want to talk about popular drama. They want to talk about, their friend groups and the drama and nonsense and stuff. But anyway, but never do you really hear anybody saying like, oh, I want to, in exchange for what I'm getting from you, I want to listen to your inner thoughts and your worries. And I want to help you with your plans. And I want to go with you to your doctor's appointments. And I want to be there for you when you're emotional about your family. Because we're not thinking about this whole thing. We're just thinking about the princess part and the prince part. Thinking about the sex part, and some people thinking about the food part. Some people thinking about how it looks on Facebook and on YouTube. And, you got all these couples that are making a lot of fake videos about their relationship that isn't true and stuff like that. But yeah, things that are superficial, not really thinking. you know, one day this person's parents are going to get older, or maybe we might have to live through a miscarriage, or maybe we might have to, you know, you all went through a lot.
Or the cat gets sick and dies, and I haven't dealt with that before. There's a lot. Yeah.
It's really strange, the levels. But let's go back to Vincent. Did you see the answer, Susan?
Yeah, I'm looking at it, and then, well, my next question is, because I've seen the body paint stuff before on like HBO After Dark years ago, and that looks really cool. They had some amazing artists, but the paint thing, I was like, that would look really cool if you like paint yourself and you can roll around on the wall, you know, and have like a private room. But Vincent's like, you could have sex and then it will be forever memorialized. And then came the question, well, he's a guy, so he's not going to think of this. I don't want paint in me. Well, yeah, thinking non-toxic paint.
Oh, on your hoo-ha.
Yeah,
you don't want to get it on your cha-cha.
Yeah. It would be fun to get naked and make naked portraits of, you know, just bumping yourself on whatever. But yeah, he was thinking of doing the deed on the floor.
So Vincent, how old are you? Because I don't know, you might have a paint partner. No, I'm kidding. Vincent does tan too, and he does really nice artwork.
Yeah, he does amazing artwork.
I saw, you know what? I saw this show, and it was a detective show, and the man, he used his penis as a paintbrush. This is where we're going tonight. So anyway,
that sounds like the guys from I think they're Australian. They do the penis knot thing. That was like really weird. It looked like it hurt.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Let me see.
They're on HBO and they would do these traveling shows. It was one of those fetish things.
Okay. I don't know. I guess we can go back to because he's 43. He's a good age. 43 is a good age. Mm-hmm. They know how to behave very well by then, Susan. So I'm just gonna put that out there. I don't know if you tan or not, but I know he takes care of he watches the white deer in the woods, and he's very nice to animals, and we like Vincent a lot. So anyway. So you already know Susan's on Facebook, y'all can find her. Anyway, she's very single and she's looking for someone who can tan. So anyway, I'm gonna finish this video. I think it's this video. Yeah, it's this video.
How old are you?
31.
And your ex-husband did what?
He's a doctor. He's a psychiatrist.
And how long ago were you married?
Up until 3 years ago.
How much older was your husband than you?
We'll say 35 years.
So he's 53.
Currently, yes.
Why'd y'all divorce?
My husband got sick with cancer, and that changed him, and it changed the dynamics of our marriage.
Is he in remission?
Yes, he is.
And who followed?
I'm thinking, yes, he had cancer, and for sure it changed him. Yeah. Right? What? But this is why she got divorced.
He's 35 years older than her, too.
Is he 35 years older?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's 53 and she's
18?
No.
23. She's 23. Right.
Let me go backwards.
Off for divorce.
I did say 35 years.
So it's 53.
Current.
Crux. How old are you?
31.
And your ex-husband did what?
He's a doctor. He's a psychiatrist.
And how long ago were you married?
Up until 3 years ago.
How much older was your husband than you?
We'll say 35 years.
So it's 53.
She's not good at math.
No.
Because she's just lying. Anyway, she's just lying. She's just making up numbers. Anyway, I'm just
3.
Currently, yes.
Why'd y'all divorce?
My husband got sick with cancer, and that changed him, and it changed the dynamics of our marriage.
Is he in remission?
Yes, he is.
And who filed for divorce?
I did.
Why?
He became mentally, emotionally, and financially abusive.
He took care of you just fine up until he got sick.
Correct.
And then when he was fighting for his life, you became a snowflake. Did you have to work when you were married?
No, but I chose
No, you didn't have
to.
to. No. You chose. But you didn't pay no real bills. You didn't have no skills. Knock it off. I'm gonna be honest, man. This is a whole mess. So even the way you're talking, it just sounds like, ugh. And how tall are you?
I'm 5'4",
How much do you weigh?
180.
Goodbye.
It seems like he's being harsh, y'all, but he's very quick with his phone calls. right? Hey, Debbie. He's very quick with his phone calls, and he's, I guess he can just feel the hypocrisy because she's out now trying to look for a new man, and I don't know. You'll never know, right? You'll never know the other side, but it sounds like she's lying because the numbers don't add up. The numbers don't add up. So anyway, I'll just keep going.
Yeah, he's hard, but like the girl in the bonnet goes to the store with a camisole, rolls up her belly, and wears fuzzy pajama pants and slippers, But she wants a guy with a suit job. The guy with a suit job isn't going to want somebody who dresses that way. I understand that. It just sounds really harsh the way he puts it. Because I'm afraid.
Right, he's quick and to the point.
Yeah, like if you wear pajamas outside, they would think you're mentally ill and you walked away from the mental hospital. But no, it's just you're lazy.
They wear them to the grocery store. Yeah. I mean, when I go to a store, I mean, I try and dress up, like look normal. But I see so many people walking around in pajamas and house slippers, and it's like,
this reminds me of Lizzo because Lizzo is overweight and she's really big, right? But she wants a basketball star who's all hot and sexy, and you can't make people want you because they have a thing that they like. And usually, like if you were going to be a person who wanted an NFL player or somebody who was a doctor who was high society, I could only imagine what that lady wears to bed. Like you're always going to be wearing silk pajamas. You're going to always keep your nails done. You're going to always. So I've found, especially when I was doing life insurance and I had to go to all these business meetings, like we dress a certain way for the meetings. But I was invited to a cigar lounge and I did not go because the idea of me pushing all my bits up and squeezing it into girdles and wearing these shoes that are too tall, like the stuff that women are doing to get, because this goes with that. And I think a lot of people aren't making the connection that if you want this, the guy who's like this wants that. And you have to conform to that. I am fuzzy slippers. All right. I am, I don't change the way I talk for anybody. You know what I mean? I've met women who are in those situations and they're not the most expressive people. It's like there's a mask and then there's everything that's going on back here. And you meet those kind of women and they're like not even able to express their true feelings or pain because they live in to be smiling and tentative and everything you need. And so I think people are having a hard time figuring out where the square pegs go and where the round pegs go. And they're trying to match up in the wrong spots because if you got a frumpy personality, you're going to get a frumpy person. That's it. You're going to match like. Yeah. I just want a sober partner that has been a challenge to find. Sober. She says I'm describing a geisha. That's interesting. Yeah, because the same way they have those things, children are to be seen and not heard. That's how a lot of people feel about wives in certain situations. And then some men aren't going to want women that have careers and stuff like that. And so a lot of people they're trying to mix up things. They're fantasizing about things, but not really understanding sociology and psychology, maybe. And so me personally, I can't be anything else. I got to be my regular, somewhat ghetto self that sounds smart sometimes, but can be rude. So anyway.
I know the struggle because I used to sound like an English teacher till I was a cop, and then people wouldn't understand me. And then I had a Puerto Rican boyfriend, and the little black kiddo told me he spoke English better than he did, and we actually had some communication problems. Like I remember one time he called up, and I said, "What's up, Willis?" And I knew it's him. I'm just playing, And he started yelling, Who's Willis?
Oh my God, because he doesn't get the reference
Oh, it's
to
like, did
different
you see that
strokes.
show when we were growing up? Didn't they have it in Puerto Rico? It's just like funny cultural stuff that was like, ooh, you know, whatever their
That's
head.
funny. That's funny. Yeah. I find that in Egypt too, like it's very difficult sometimes. Even their level of emotional expressiveness is like maybe way more than I'm used to dealing with an American person. Like you might like the part about them being expressive, but then it's like, okay, now you're overwhelming because you're like emotional, a little bit too needy. You're a little bit too. And so I was finding that dating outside in different cultures too, that some people can be like an emotional burden in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go to this next video. We got about, okay, we'll give it about 10 minutes. We're so late starting, but I'm going to finish up with this Kevin Samuels.
We're not seeing anything, Erica.
Oh, you're not? Well, why'd you wait so long, Terry?
Well, when I see you're laughing, it's like, oh, wait a minute, we're not seeing it.
Value with
like this. My cookies is worth the wait.
Well, first off, check that, sweet. I know your cookies ain't worth the wait because you ain't made nobody wait. You got 2 kids without a marriage. Name me the product that gains value with age and use.
A product that gains value with age and use.
Yeah.
I want to say, I want to say your mind, but I may be different. I may be wrong.
I said a product. Where can you go buy a mind? A product.
Oh, a product. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure you're gonna tell me.
Yeah. Nothing. And let's just talk about your cookies. They're getting older and they've been used.
That don't mean nothing.
You're right. You don't.
Oh, you are.
I do want to have value.
Why?
Because I'm a high value girl.
Because you look in your bank account and you say I'm a high value girl, so I should get a high value man. Why does that make sense to y'all? Well, y'all know that's not how we pick.
Well, I don't know. I guess everybody have their different definitions of high value. I have my definition.
Let me help you out. High value is feminine. You said you're a high value girl.
I believe I am.
And that means your femininity would be number 1. That goes opposite to aggression. Aggression is masculine. How do you?
I think I'm 30.
Well, far too many of you ladies are too concerned too much on what you want, and you have no idea what men want.
Value to me, when I'm talking about a man, for one, his spirituality is number 1. That's
high you would be okay with a man making $42,000 a year if he's a devout Christian. Don't play with me.
I want a man that's definitely going to be able to pay the bills, like take care of me, but I still want to be able to have the option to work and do like my career, have a career and still have kids.
Okay, so you want it all.
Yeah.
Okay, how much money is a man going to need to make to be able to pay all the bills? Or,
You know, I know we're independent now. We're older now, so we're super independent. But I think what I did realize too when I was younger is that people, like when men have their own money, like good bits of money, or they're really how do you say when they're talking about high value, these are people who have like intense careers that are competitive and pay well and stuff like that, like high stress and so on, that they actually want you there available when they want you to. I'm kind of finding that, like me as an older person now, like if the person is too busy doing other things, not that they shouldn't have things to do, but if they don't have time when I have time, then I don't really want that. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna stop with that with the Kevin Samuels because he goes kind of far left out of our realm per se, but people with high earning jobs and high intense careers are very competitive and they're going to have less patience. I was looking at this with the 80-20 rule. Like when you want people to have a certain thing, the 20% is going to be the part that you don't like. And a lot of people want the one thing, but they don't realize that it's going to have a byproduct to say. But that person is probably going to be more intense, maybe less emotionally expressive, more focused on their career than what you're normally used to. I don't know if you had anything to say about that, but now I find that, we're older, like me and you, we're retired. Susan is retired, whether she she does a lot of work at home. Like we're all retired, but what would be the purpose of dating if the person's always busy, always gone, always, and there's no time to share it. So I find myself more so than wanting someone to be a high earner is to be a person with a good attitude and a good temperament and that has time.
Yeah.
For me.
I suppose depending on where you are in life, I mean, I want somebody that I'm going to be able to spend time with and maybe travel and maybe, go for a hike up the mountains or down the prairies or, like doing things with. So somebody who's still working and somebody who's 20 years younger is not going to be able to do those things, like to have that freedom. But on the other hand, I don't want somebody that's going to be going there using a walker.
Yeah, that's where we're at,
Yeah.
Yes. You just got to find
anybody's a nurse. No, I didn't sign up for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, nursing with 60 hours a week and stuff like that. But, because I thought about this one day, if a person, okay, for example, I was watching this documentary about this lady and she did so much. The person she was supposedly in love with, she just hit the road all the time and they would work together on projects and then that slammed into a wall. But she had done so much running around for her career. And then basically she turned everybody off because she was just, how they say, I choose me. In every situation with the school she was at, she didn't want to follow those rules. She chose herself. When it came to the woman that sponsored her work, she held back on the research and she chose herself. When it came to her hometown and the people she was basically exploiting to write all her work, she chose herself. She shared information about them that they wouldn't have wanted shared about themselves. And then when it came to her dating Langston Hughes, she chose her career over him. And then when she died alone. And I thought, so what if what good would it be if you had all your money and all your career achievements, but your kids don't talk to you, your family doesn't speak to you, and your significant other, maybe you just never have one or you never really bond and make that connection. Like, was it worth it? Was all the time you invested in your career worth it? Or the love and intensity of love that you were able to share and the lives you were able to impact more important than this big thing? Because I think we want to be abundant and we want to live these wonderful lives, but sometimes I think like even if a person, as long as you could cover yourself, you know what I mean? And you could make enough to pay for your food and you could maintain your car, whatever, like the person adds to my life and not necessarily the money that they have, because I've done it on my own. I've achieved on my own and have my own retirement and things like that. So I don't think I was ever this person. I've never wanted anybody to pay a phone bill for me or anything like that. And boy, it would be nice, like if God were to, make that magic wand happen, but I've never sought to take anything of someone else's so that I could have what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never did either because I've always been independent and had my own thing. And then even though I work less than 15 hours a week, I'm going to, and I could retire in a few years. I want a guy with a pension because I got a little pension, and then I'm going to get Social Security, but I'm still going to work a little bit unless Social Security doesn't. I don't know what the rules are of that. I think disability is different than if you're retired. But I still want to work till I can't, because there's some famous cranial sacral and other therapists that worked into the 80s. But of course, I'd probably only take a few people a week. But it's something I enjoy doing, and then I help people, and sometimes I'm doing medical medium stuff too, which really helps people. And I know it sounds kind of corny, but if I got gift I can help people with, and that was part of my mission anyway, because I had my warrior stage. Now I'm in my crown healer stage doing different things, and I'm just going to enjoy it till the wheels fall off, basically. Until I can't anymore. I'll have to slow down. But
I think because you're doing something different, because that's not necessarily your career. That's actually your purpose.
Yeah.
Your purpose, like if I work at Winn-Dixie and I'm the manager or a marketing supervisor, that's my career. That might not necessarily be my purpose. So I'm not going to do that until I die. Where if you're in this thing of being a counselor, a coach, or a healer, and you're helping people, that's going to be something that you do every day of your life, probably, even if you don't get paid all the time, you'll do it.
Yeah.
So that's going to be some different level of thing. I will address this thing what Andy said. She said, I was always independent too, always paid my own way, intimidating a lot of guys, not sure why. And Mr. Kevin Samuels, he does talk about this, like this woman, she came on there, she was a nurse, and he was like, that's one of the top tier jobs that men are like, no, because they tend to be very assertive, less demure. Because on the job they know everything, and they get pretty, go to a hospital, visit a nurse. They can be loving, but they're very abrupt and assertive, right? Career oriented, so there's less time. But a lot of that is going to be because a lot of times girls or men are going to want women that are available at their, how do you say, the frolic, maybe? That has time to, like, I think people don't really realize, like, men do really want you to listen to their stories. They want you to listen to their jokes. They do want you to listen to their feelings. They're way more emotional than you think. And they want you to be there when they want you to,
Yeah, that's the problem I have with, like, retired guys are mad at me because I like to work Saturday morning, And
they want you to
that's
be
my
there.
busy day where I can help most people.
And we know you're a boss, Debbie. Look at you. You just had your own store. And so people want, I don't know, there's this thing where a lot of guys want to be needed and they want you to validate them. And I don't think a lot of women realize how much more, like if he can grant you something, give you something, or do something for you, how they feel like they want to make you happy. And it's just this point in the relationship where you begin to scold them, or how do you say it? When you, I don't like this, or when you begin to complain, that's when everything kind of like the cake falls in at the top, is because they're like, they really, like, the biggest thing that they really want is for you to be happy and smile all the time. And so at that point, when they can no longer, provide you with the smile, and you become independent. I know one thing I did. I believe that is possible because they got the work husband thing going on with the cheating thing. He said that nurses are more likely to cheat. Debbie's not a cheater, though. She just we're not gonna put you in that category. But yeah, once I did this, I kind of messed up my sister's relationship, and because her husband was always, if she mentioned something, it would appear, even if he didn't always get her the things that she wanted, because maybe she was just oh, I like that. That's really cool. But he didn't really want it all the time. But anyway, he would just buy the things, right? So there was a time when I was having difficulty reaching her, and I bought her a cell phone. And she said once I bought her that cell phone, and it was basically as if I had intervened in their marriage. And he began to step back because I purchased her a phone. So I met a need of hers that he did not, and maybe he felt like he didn't have time enough to do it, like that I just was quick, but I probably was because I was really concerned and maybe overly concerned, but not really understanding boundaries. That pushed a button somewhere for them. I don't know.
Yeah, but you didn't do that to interfere in that relationship,
right?
Or did you?
No. I just want to make sure that
you did it for a personal reason, not having to do with them. Interesting.
Right, but I mean, to me, that just shows now these aren't all spiritual situations, and we're not all on the highest level of spiritual. That's kind of why I was like not minding doing this, because we would like to think that we're all angelics and we're all ascended masters, but we're not. We're living in bullshit. You know what I mean? I see spiritual people all the time, and you're like, why are you going through this? Like, why are you in this relationship? So we have, different kinds of relationships out here, and I feel like all these types of topics are valid. And we're, some people are spiritual and some people are married to people that are like nowhere close, don't want nothing to do with spirituality, healing, and things like that. So this is all a part of different lives on different levels. But so I just feel like it's all valid. But yeah, for some men that can be intimidating or crossing the line, because it took away his opportunity to give.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, lots of cheating does happen in the hospital. It's like a soap opera. I bet, because they spend so many hours.
When I was a cop, that place was Peyton Place. I'd hear stories.
Yeah.
So there was a soap opera called General Hospital.
Oh, I never even made that connection. I never even made the connection.
Yeah, that was a big thing. Even in college in the 80s, we all had to go to the community room to go watch General Hospital. What was it on? 3 o'clock? Something like that. At U of D.
How many of them involved hospitals? Any more of them? No, I think maybe.
There's
Days of Our Lives, they stayed in the hospital all the time. Young and the Restless.
There were the other ones. There's Grey's Anatomy, right? How many TV shows were there that was in hospitals and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, Bold and the Beautiful was about passion.
Mm.
Oh no, fashion. Why did I say fashion? Fashion. It was about fashion. I guess they're saying a lot of them included. Yeah. Scrubs.
Yeah.
It's not a soap opera, it's just a sitcom. Well, so I don't know. Today we're kind of all over the place with the Kevin Samuels. I don't know. What did you get out of it, Terri?
I think viewing it from my perspective, it gives me because I kind of like to sit and I just kind of, so it gives me an idea about where people are, right? And so I make adjustments in my own ways, like for myself, just listening to some of this stuff. So what is it? I think he's kind of bold in the way that he's sort of,
he's harsh.
Down. But it's kind of valid what he's saying.
Yeah.
He's harsh, but yeah, it's valid.
Yeah, because if you want somebody with a master's degree or a PhD, you're going to have at least a bachelor's degree and, be able to wine and dine the people in his social circle.
His social circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
remember my mom talking about that because my dad was a hospital administrator, and she was talking about how the wife can make the husband's career. Yeah.
Mhm.
But my mom was a housewife too, so I just kind of look at her because I've never actually really been a housewife. So that's kind of, I don't know. I don't know what it's like.
What, you said you've never been a housewife?
Mm-mm.
Hmm.
No, I've always been working.
Oh, I guess I've been a working housewife then. Never mind. Because I did work.
I'm more like a housewife now because I work out of my house, but this is my house. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I wore the apron. I got the Mother's Day cake and the cheese tray and the platter. And, you know, if my husband argued with his mom, I'd be the one to say, let's just be reasonable. Don't argue with her. Let's just do Christmas dinner. You know, like I was that. I vacuumed my living room 3 times a day. And
Oh my God.
yeah, I really, after I had our son, I had anxiety really bad, and I was clenching my teeth a lot, and I did it. I did the breastfeeding, and I did all the pumping, and I did all the, yeah, I did it. I was doing it.
Yeah, but you can't sit in the house all the time after you have the baby because you start getting depression. With the second baby, yeah, I got really bad depression. The first one I did, and staying home makes it worse. It was a little better to go back to work.
So, Andy, what came with that vacuuming 3 times a day is a lot of dirty looks, because I would be looking at him like thinking that he should be doing what I think in my mind. You know what I mean? Like I was very angry. I know it had to do with like postpartum depression, but I was also like slamming on brakes. If a plastic bag flew in front of my car, I would slam on brakes. If I saw a shadow in the road in front of the car, I would. So I was really going through something after the baby where I don't know, I was really amped up, and I ended up having to finally go see the doctor, not get checked in as in they keep me, but I did struggle a lot, where I used to be able to allow him to drive me. And then after that, I was grabbing the door, holding on for dear life and stuff. So I can say, so after we got divorced, I was able to say, you know, like I contributed because I was like on 10 all day, every day. Everything was important and now, you know, and then he contributed with his activities. No cheating, just lots of crazy shit. Like missing your son's 1-year-old birthday party, which it could be, you know. But anyway, so we both contributed, and I know I wrote a 4-page letter, but I knew like once I got diagnosed with anxiety and stuff like that, that yeah, a part of that was me. I think sometimes too, a lot of people don't realize like they don't give credit. Yeah, the person did this, that person did that. They actually did. They hurt you, but you still have to own some of your shit too, you know? So I wrote a nice 4-page letter about that. Well, we've gone over.
Yes.
I think we're making up for being late. So we went over. I'm gonna, let's see. Oh God, we're gonna leave with 2 funny ones because I love that guy, that one guy who does the demure. The guy with the glasses. I freaking love him. So I'm gonna do that because I try to lighten things up after we have these hardcore conversations. So anyway. So anyway.
How I have an existential crisis, very unhinged, very attention seeking. I don't do the inner work like you girls. I compare my insides to your outsides. Muir. I don't cultivate mindfulness. I'm very turbulent, very frenzied. I pursue immediate gratification. I trade ephemeral joy for eternal pain. Not demure, demanding too much of myself. I'm not comfortable in my skin. I'm not cozy with who I am. I live the unexamined life. very blissful, very ignorant. I'm not in touch with my emotions. I'm very, see how I have my existential crisis? Very unhinged, very.
What does that mean, Terry? He said something about your ephemeral. I don't even know what that means. Hey, Ramadan.
He's cracking me up. I have to remember. That's what anxiety attacks feel like, turbulent and frenzied. That's exactly what
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I was having one of those earlier. And I'm like, am I getting V2K? Because I kept hearing dumb stuff in my head looping about my ex. And I'm like, why? Make it stop. It makes you turbulent and frenzied and you're trying to stay grounded. Ugh.
Here's another one. Oh no. Let me rewind it.
How I fall for unavailable people very willingly, very repeatedly. I ignore red flags and warning signs. I can change him. Very fixer-upper, very Bob the Builder.
Is your aunt still in
I
the
don't
hospital?
communicate my wants and desires. I don't know what they are. I stay in touch with my exes. They just don't know it. Very dependent, very I treat my dates as therapy sessions. Very unprocessed, very trauma, very two birds, very one stone. I don't do thank you next. I do wait, come back. No, please don't leave. I'm not like you girls, but I'm depressingly like you girls.
He is so funny, but he's so, I don't know. I just like it.
Mm-hmm.
I like him. I'm gonna do one more because I said one thing, but I didn't know I was gonna do two for him. So anyway, I like this girl. I think she's over the top a little bit, but sure. Oh gosh.
What was his name? Michael Shea?
Oh my gosh. What is it? Michael Shayan. Shayan. I'll definitely send it to you. So let's see what this girl. She's totally crazy.
Now you ain't gonna be able to just smack it out her hand, okay? She try to bring you coffee. What you gonna say? Put your hand down. What do you say?
I don't drink coffee.
You just say no, thank you.
Okay.
Hey, Tavon, I cooked.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Hey, Tavon, I made you some food. I cooked last night. Just had some leftovers. So I just figured you would.
I already ate. My wife keeps me fed. I already ate.
That's a good answer. You can't eat all the women food because these women is putting stuff in the food, doing curses and witchcraft. You can't eat everybody's food. You ain't even know that, did you? Yeah, they'll put their stuff in and then give you some food. They start bringing you stuff trying to establish a work husband, work wife relationship. We don't do those.
Don't do those.
One wife, one husband.
One wife, one life.
So you got to tell them no.
Food.
I don't care how good the food smells. That ain't got nothing to do with you. You will not be eating that lady food, okay? Hey, I brought you a birthday gift. I saw it. No. See, that's you got to say no to the gifts
for the birthday.
For the birthday. You don't listen. That is when again you can't take gifts from everybody. She's trying to establish the work husband, work wife relationship. Okay, and more than likely, it's going to be something you really like. She's going to be done her investigating, her research very heavily.
No.
You do that, yeah, that'll work too. Because she'll think you got your mind. Hey, Simone, I brought you a birthday gift.
It ain't no birthday. It ain't no birthday. No, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't want
it. Good job.
I gotta say though, she's a little bit over the top. I don't know. Am I tripping? Is she tripping? Are they tripping?
Well, they're acting. So.
Yeah.
No, but she's acting, but she's telling us and she's telling people, fuck this work husband, work wife relationship stuff. And this is how it happens. And if this is how you do it. So she takes him through all these training scenarios. Like if the barber rubs her boob on your back, like how to respond. I mean, they are acting, but I don't think she's acting though.
I don't know.
Think, Terry? Is she right though? Terry, is she right? Is she right? Y'all...
I honestly, what was she saying? If who's giving him a drink, if who's giving him a gift, Who's
somebody
giving
from
it to
work?
him?
The female coworkers.
Co-worker from work. Oh, okay. I missed
So she's
that part.
talking about the work wife, work husband. She's telling him like this is how they're gonna do it. They're gonna start bringing you food and letting you eat. But you know what? It is true too, Deborah, because I see what you're saying. And food can be hexed, but you don't even have to go as far as hexing, right? Because the thing is, when someone cooks for you, energy goes into the food. Same way when I make jewelry, there's energy. I transfer energy through jewelry, right? You transfer it through prayers and blessings and so on and so on. It doesn't have to be literally, and I'm not even going to say what she's thinking is in that food, but people will use body fluids and put it inside of people's food, and that's a thing that happens. So people should be aware of that. But at the very least, energy goes into it. So she's saying, if she brings you food, I don't give a fuck. Don't eat it.
Right.
If she bring you a drink, if she bring you a Christmas present. I mean, that is how people start dating at work, isn't it though? I don't know. Yeah, that's what, she said that's what I just did not want to type it out. Yeah, that is what, the intentions instilled. Yes. So anyway, let me see. She's got one more where she's just gonna beat this poor guy down. It's just funny. It's funny, but then it's kind of not funny sometimes. Anyway, let me see. Is this the one? Oh, I think we saw that one already. We saw that already.
When?
Yeah, teaching him how to avoid the work-wife relationship. This was another one. Maybe Susan didn't see this one.
I didn't see this one.
No, so because see, I end up watching these by myself, and then I end up bringing. So here we go.
How are you doing, handsome?
I'm doing good, sweetheart. How you doing?
That ain't what happened? What'd you do wrong?
What did you do wrong?
What did
I do wrong?
First of all, I called you handsome. That's what the conversation.
Thanks for the compliment. Oh, okay.
The conversation was supposed to. There ain't no thanks for the compliment.
Okay.
Nothing. You act like you didn't hear it.
Okay.
And then you don't even have to get to the sweetheart part. You only got one sweetheart.
Gotcha.
Mm.
Understandable. All right.
Okay.
Sure. All right.
What are you wearing? What is that? Oh, you smell good.
No, I don't.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing? Whoa. Oh, wait. Smack it away. You ready to smack it away from me?
Right, get up.
I don't want
get
that.
up.
All right.
Get up.
I don't want that over.
You was about to smack it.
Away from me.
Wow. Do you work out?
Nope. Worst shape of my life. You have a good evening.
That's right. There you go.
Thanks, man.
Come on over.
She's funny. She's funny. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not even gonna say nothing. I'm just like, wow, okay. She is funny, but she's teaching him, and it says classes and sessions. So she just goes through all these scenarios. You guys, in your comments, tell us what you think, and don't forget to like and share and subscribe. Next week we're gonna have some dudes on. Not next week. Week after next, we're gonna have some dudes on here, y'all. It's like our little friends didn't show up to come play with us today. But it's all right. Susan, you guys have been yawning this whole time. It's like 9:40 Eastern time.
It's an hour earlier here. Well, I don't know why I'm so tired today.
Well, I gotta go because I got a date. So I'm gonna see y'all. I'm gonna see y'all later. I'm going to
have a good week.
Yeah, I'm going to the casino. So you guys have a great
Okay, well, good luck.
I know that's right. I got my my lucky necklace that I made, y'all, with my Chinese coin and stuff. And I'm ready to hit these slot machines. Our last Libra reading actually said jackpot in the in the title it said jackpot, and I think they pulled a Wheel of Fortune card or something like that. So I'm ready. Let's get flued out, y'all. We didn't fly in, so we gotta fly out.
You gotta fly out.